So today we're welcoming Jill Andersen today, and she's going to visit with us about her physical therapy practice. Welcome, Jill. Would you tell our listeners where you work and what your role is?
Sure. I work at the Red Lake Hospital. It's on the Red Lake Indian Reservation in northern Minnesota. We're about 2 hours from the Canadian border, so we are definitely up there. We have a population here that we serve of probably around 10,000 people through our Indian Health Service hospital. And it's kind of a unique hospital in that we have both tribal programs and federal programs working together under the same roof.
Tell me a little bit more about that hospital. Is it on the reservation?
Yes, the hospital is located right on the reservation. It's direct access for patients. So we have all of the services they could need. Pharmacy, eye care, dental. We have an outpatient department. We have a really small inpatient hospital. Um, and then there's a dialysis unit that we contract right on the property as well. We have dietitians. So just about everything that they need, we're able to provide here.
So you're a physical therapist there. Of course, every other physical therapist wants to know where you went to school and who you're working with there. So
Sure.
where did
I
you go?
I went to school in Grand Forks, North Dakota, graduated with my master's of physical therapy way back in 1996. I started work in Bemidji, Minnesota at an outpatient clinic, which is about a half hour from the reservation. And I worked there for 14 years. And around the time they were kind of making a change into more of a bigger corporate style hospital, I started looking for something different, and this job opportunity was open on the reservation. I went from a kind of a state of the art facility with a pool and full gym, floor to ceiling windows, the full meal deal to well, our building turned 40 years old today where I'm at now. And I'm kind of in the middle of a cinder block square. And it just really appealed to me when I got here. I see the whole patient population, birth to death, anywhere from infants to 99. And I get to do a little bit of everything. So it's forced me to definitely get more creative. People don't have access to the things that they did in the facility I worked at before. So I need to learn to ask more questions, and it's been a lot of fun. Kind of a big challenge, but a lot of fun.
Now, just for sizing purposes, how many inpatient beds do you have there?
I think operational beds we have, it's no more than 12.
Okay.
Typically we run 3 to 5 inpatients at any one time. So I see those people as well. I am a one woman show. So the physical therapy department is me. I'm the scheduler. I'm the cleaner. I do the ordering. I answer phone calls and treat patients somewhere in between. So a little bit of
And
everything.
are there orthopedic surgeries done there at your hospital, or are they done elsewhere?
No, everything is off-site. So we have contracts with several facilities around the state, and so if people need orthopedic services, they have a choice of several places to go, and then I can get referrals from those places as well. So I do see some post-operative patients. It runs the gamut. I get referrals from all over for a whole variety of things. We have some specialists that come here and contract as well. We'll see patients for podiatry. We don't have them on staff, so some of the specialties will come once a month and service those patients, and so then I'm usually looped in on those visits also.
Okay, so you're out there 2 hours from civilization,
Canada.
and you're serving a population of about 10,000 people, I think you said. And so that could be a pretty significant load if you're doing everything from soup to nuts. Tell us how your job changed with the pandemic.
So we weren't sure how this was going to hit our population. So we kind of had to make a plan. We had an incident command system that came into play, and they started looking at our facility and what some of the options were. Patient encounters were basically, they came to a screaming halt like they did across the country. And in that time frame, they had determined that my department was one of the only places in the hospital that they could easily convert to a negative pressure space. So I lost my department. They took it, converted it to negative pressure, and made it kind of a hospital ward should we have a surge of patients with COVID that needed hospitalization. Um, After that need passed, we were moving into vaccination phase. And so then my department transitioned to several little cubicles that we set up to do mass vaccination events over a period of several months. We just completed our last event in here on Friday this last week. So just less than a week ago.
So first you're a triage unit in case you get patients in. So you're not doing physical therapy in the same space. Then you're doing vaccinations in the same space.
Correct.
Are you on the main floor of the hospital there? And
We have one floor. It's a one level build. We have
okay,
a basement, but a one level building where we do patient care.
all
Yep.
right.
So I had to figure out really fast what else I could do.
Yeah. Well, how did you stay in contact with your patients there? I think earlier you used the phrase with me, kind of street corner uh, consultations. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, the patient load that I was carrying at the time this all happened, mutually we kind of made a decision. They weren't willing to come in, and, I didn't really have the space to treat them. So that all worked out fine. You see, when you're in a community this small, you see a lot of the same patients over and over again. So we have a really close relationship. And I've always told them, if they have simple questions or things, just to call me, and, I can guide them through it the best that I can. And so several would do that. Or if they were in the hospital seeing their treating physician, they would pop their head in the door to see if I was around and could help them, solve a little problem here or there. I did continue to see inpatients, but that was on a pretty limited basis. Just there wasn't a lot going on. We were doing telehealth, and the fear in the community was pretty palpable. Uh, they're really careful around here. They're so diligent with their mask wearing and their social distancing. And if there was ever a time to step away from physical therapy, that was the time. They were okay with that.
Now, it sounds like that's exactly what you did, and you got into a lot different kind of patient relationship. You told me you had some training in that. Can you kind of backstory that for
Sure.
us?
Um, a couple of years ago, I'm part of the wellness team here at the hospital, just promoting wellness amongst the staff. And as part of that, I became interested in health coaching and had an opportunity to get a certification as a health coach. So, several weeks of training, tested out, got my certification for that. Did a little bit of health coaching on the side. We incorporated it into our wellness team activities. And then I decided it was something I just wanted to keep going with. So I went ahead and did the work to get my national certification and became national board certified as a health coach not quite 2 years ago. They knew that I had that background, and they knew that I wouldn't be doing PT. Um, I don't shy away from challenges. And so they had asked if I would help them, kind of just with public messaging with where the hospital was at, a few little tidbits that they had about COVID. And I took that, and I kind of saw it as an opportunity to health coach a community, just giving them information, sharing stories. I was trained as a contact tracer at the same time. So I was assisting the public health with doing contact tracing, and that got people really familiar with me. So I knew what questions patients were coming in with. And then I would take those questions and I would put them into public messaging, so that everyone could find out what that answer was, trying to dispel Facebook rumors and media scare tactics and things like that. So I did Facebook messaging. I built a relationship with the local newspaper And she carried a lot of my articles and would put out some of my ads or messaging. I did some YouTube videos, and then I did some consulting with some of the tribal businesses in town, just helping them kind of navigate what they should be doing as far as Minnesota state guidelines with COVID safety, if they had a staff person turn positive, just the questions that come up. Working with the school was another big part of that too.
So through some training that you took in advance, not, of course, knowing the pandemic was coming, you transitioned out of physical therapy into, you might call yourself a community health officer at that point. I mean,
Kind of,
kind
yeah.
of a liaison to all the
Yes,
health services.
yes,
And then as of Friday, you finished vaccinating,
yes.
and today you're a physical therapist again.
Not quite. So I'm seeing an inpatient right now, so I always enjoy getting to do those interactions. But yeah, now we're looking at how we're going to clear everything out of my department, get my equipment back in, and then start to rebuild the business. There are a few staff that are kind of reluctant to let me go. They kind of like having that message board and that touch point with the community. So I don't know if part of this will include a little bit of that, if I'll keep working with, community health just to spread messaging about, whether it's flu shots or opioid addiction or, just some various things. So we'll see.
Well, Jill, congratulations on navigating the pandemic in ways
Thank you.
in ways none of us ever imagined we'd be.
No, it was a wild ride.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us today, and I'm sure that'll be an inspiration for others to maybe broaden their horizons for the next thing that's coming.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, bye bye now.
Bye.